Hello, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. This is Gaurri A Kadam. The guests on my channel today are two gorgeous women who will always be close to my heart. It really humbles me to be sharing this platform with Natasha Mott and Ann Vass and holding space for this beautiful conversation that we're about to have. Please welcome Natasha Mott and Ann Vass. Natasha Mott is the founder of Raising the Vibes Metaphysical Academy, an online spiritual learning center that allows people to develop their existing spiritual abilities and their spidey senses and turn them into profitable, passion driven careers. Ann Vass, a licensed Helio Life workshop teacher and life coach, certified QSCA life coach, and Akashic Records specialist. Together, they have joined forces and are teaching an abundant course which will surely shift your life, career, and business on a whole different level. The Octopus methodology enables you to learn to value yourself in every area of your life by removing the masks you wear in different aspects of your life. Become one with who you are and step into your power, business, and in your life. Without much ado, let's get started with this interview with these lovely ladies. Hey, Natasha. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Well, thank you.
We're great. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you so much for coming back onto the channel. I'm super excited to have both of you. It's very humbling to be having this conversation with you because I know what this course has done for me and how it has actually shifted the trajectory of my life. So it's very honoring to be having this conversation with you and shedding light on this beautiful course, which I do feel like everyone, whether you guys have a business or you don't have a business, just try it because it is a game changer. It was a very big game changer for my life. So thank you so much for taking out the time and being a part of this conversation.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited.
So happy to be here and so happy to see the progression of, from where you started on the course to where you are now and that you're interviewing us. That is super exciting.
Yeah, I mean, this came through. It did come through when I was doing the course, and this was last year. And I was like, me, YouTube? No, I don't think so. I mean, I never really imagined it, like me being in front of camera and doing all of this. But this was one of the guidance from the course, and that's why it's so humbling and it's so honoring to have you both here and have this conversation with you.
Your soul knows. Your soul knows your path.
So true. So I just want to give a bit of a feedback of what happened with me while I was a part of the container. So when I started, like when I decided to take the Octopus methodology course, I didn't know much about it, but I was intrigued when I read like feng shui, your business and life, and I just wanted to know more. I was like, what is this all about? How can, because when you think of feng shui, you think of applying it in your house, you think of working with the energy of moving things around and making sure all the elements and energies are right. But then when I read that feng shui, your business and life, I was like, that's intriguing. I want to be I want to just see what it's all about. And while I was doing the course, when I was in the container and accompanied by these gorgeous bunch of ladies who are now friends for life, the guidance that came through, the methodology was divine, and the transitions, it made me shift into a new way of doing things. And I was very conscious and balanced, and I was very present in my life, as well as for my business. And after the course, I do remember I became more intentional. My creativity had increased. I was more authentic in my approach, and I knew what kind of elements I need to bring in, not just in my life, but also in my business. Like everything for my business has come out of the methodology. And the guidance was truly, truly, truly divine. And that's why it's even more humbling to have this conversation with you guys.
Absolutely. And the guidance is divine because the guidance is the map, the blueprint that your soul created before you were born. So it's all there. And we like to call it like cheat, right? So that you can connect to your soul's blueprint and really download all of that information, or really kind of like bring that information from a subconscious level into a conscious level whilst connecting to your Akashic records. And that's the big thing for us, is really using the Akashic records and, you know, your soul's blueprint to really guide your next step, right? We say you're always on purpose. Purpose is a windy road. So let's see, what is the purpose of what I'm going through now, and how do I move forward in business and in life in a way that is sustainable, balanced, and it's really about creating that foundation and those practices that you can use every day after the course as well.
Absolutely.
It was so amazing to witness all of you, and each container is so beautiful. Everyone who registers is attracting each other. So you have the most beautiful mastermind of souls collected to support you and support each other through the journey. And what I love about it is it really pertains to now. It's very much, what next step can I take on that blueprint in order to fulfill my purpose, in order to feel fulfilled, in order to have joy and health and balance in my life. And it was so beautiful to witness you go through it, Gaurri.
It was really humbling. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep using this word because it was humbling. It made me more grounded. It made me more connected with my essence. And like you said, talking about the Akashic Records, I do feel like I had picked my fellow container mates for this journey, because I do feel like they were truly able to hold space for me, and I was able to hold space for them with their ideas, their projects, my ideas, my projects. So we were there for one another. It really felt very collective, and it felt like teamwork. It really felt like teamwork.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it is an amazing mastermind that we bring together. And it's like you say, it's like Kelly was saying, we pull the right people, and we know that there's no accidents in life, right? So everything happens for a reason. And we're all going through, and we, when we're in a container or a group like that, there's a lot of us that are going through the same things or have the same vibrational frequency of what has happened, or there's something that connects us all on a subconscious level. And that's what's beautiful to watch with each group, which is why we say, if you've done it once, you can do it again. You'll get something different every time because you're in a different place in your life, right? You've made those decisions that have brought you to where you are now. And the amazing thing about working with the Akashic Records and the Octopus Method is, like Kelly says, it brings you into the now. And when we make a decision, we open up a whole bunch of new timelines based on that decision, which is why all future possibilities exist. So when you're in the Octopus Method, you're in there for right now. Where do I move right now? And then if you did it a year later, it would again bring you to that place of centered. Okay, so you're here right now. How do we move forward from this specific point based on all the decisions or the information that you got from before and what you've implemented as well? Because it's just as important to, implement the information that you get as it is to download it.
Absolutely. Getting on with the first question, what was the journey of creating this methodology?
Kelly, do you want to start?
Sure. When I know what I desire as a life coach, I really go after it. So I had just finished Akashic Records Level 3, and Natasha was my instructor. And during Akashic Level 3, I realized, okay, this is my passion and purpose. And as soon as you know your trajectory as a human being, it's like you want to do everything you can to be in that energy, and your soul propels you forward. So I kept asking Natasha, are you doing a mentorship? Are you doing a mentorship? And she said yes. And I was very persistent. And I contacted her and asked, okay, when do we start? And then I believe I sent her money for it. And so then it was like, okay, we're doing this. And what was really beautiful was the first day when I arrived, and we had both welcomed feng shui into our lives recently. So feng shui was something that we were both very familiar with. And the first day, Lord of the Akashic Records, who is an archangel who looks after all the Akashic Records, he's 100% of the light, and that's who we communicate with in the records. He welcomed us. He was so happy we were there, and he said, you're going to create a methodology together. And I'll let Natasha tell her side of this.
Yeah. So for me, what happened was Kelly said to me, are you going to are you going to do a mentorship? And out of my mind came, yes, out of my mouth. And I was like, what do you mean I'm running a mentorship? I don't know what I'm running. I was like, okay, it's one of those things, right? That you know, it's just is what it is. So I said, okay, fine, I'm running a methodology. And I was like, not a methodology, a mentorship. And I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then Kelly's like, so when are we starting? And I was like, I don't know what we're doing yet. I don't know what we're starting, right? Then all of a sudden she said, like, here's the money, we're starting on this date. And I was like, okay. In the meanwhile, I was running this other course. It's kind of like finding out like your, you know, again, another practice of soul's purpose. It was interesting because not even part of the course, the lady brought in the Feng Shui Bagua map. And I was sitting in the course, and leading up to the course, I had people asking me, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? And the general message from the Akashic Records was, you're always on purpose. Purpose is a windy road. Everything that your soul has chosen to experience and overcome up until now will inform your purpose moving forward. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, and then I sat there going, you know, I have 15 years of corporate marketing experience. I'm not just going to dump that side of my life. How am I going to incorporate that? I mean, I'd been doing kind of like Akashic Records for business, but then sitting with that in my back of my mind and then looking at this map and listening to the teacher talk about Feng Shui, I had this light bulb moment, obviously directed by the Akashic Records, going, why don't you base the Bagua map over your life and your business energetically? Not in a physical space, but energetically, how do you Feng Shui your life and your business? So I looking at all the other areas. So, you know, the me, myself, and I, and I was like, that's like business. Like, I am the business, we're business. And I was like, oh, I'm going to run Kelly through this this is what I'm going to do. This is going to be like the 12 weeks that we're going to be running, and this is going to be the program. So I said to her, Kelly, look, this is what's come in. Shall we just try it? And then I started with kind of like the marketing aspect, started asking the questions behind that. And then, yeah, like Kelly said, it was revealed that with her coaching experience, my marketing experience, her business experience, my business experience, that we were to amalgamate and merge this with the Akashic Records, all connecting to your higher self, to really create conscious business, a conscious life, where, you know, we bring things into awareness. And the biggest thing for me when I first thought about it was when I was looking at that map, I was like, we wear a mask in all different areas, all those 9 areas, we wear a mask. So we're different at work when we are at home to when we are sitting talking to our suppliers. We wear different masks. So what if we had to just drop the masks and just be ourselves? That was the thing in all areas of our lives. This energetic map is going to allow us to just be who we are no matter what, or at least give us the courage to do that, right? So that's where we started looking at it. Like, you know, where are we over supporting? Where are we under supporting? Where are we over supported? Where are we under supported? You know, and started looking at it from a personal life and a business life. And that's how we amalgamated the two together, because we are one and we don't need to pretend to be other people. Because when we're living our purpose, that's who we are.
Absolutely. And I had goosebumps at multiple times when you were narrating the story. Like when Kelly said you guys went into the Akashic Records and the Lord of the Akashic Records said that you guys are going to create a methodology. I mean, that just gave me chills up my spine when I heard that. And then your story, I mean, it's beautiful when you're guided in such a divine manner, and you're always on purpose. Like you say, you're always on purpose. Like, you guys creating this methodology and bringing it to us was a part of your purpose, and us taking up this methodology was a part of our purpose. So it's so beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. A message that really came through strongly was, you are your business. Whether you work for someone else, whether you work for yourself, whether you're starting a business, whether you're about to retire, you are your business. You bring you to it. And that was something that came through very strongly, was this flow, this energetic flow of infusing you into everything you do or think or say or love or desire. Yeah.
Absolutely. Which leads me to the next question. And I know it's intriguing for many people to find out, why is it called the octopus methodology?
Yes. So as we're going through this, and we both understand feng shui, but we also know that the whole world isn't necessarily knowledgeable in feng shui. A lot is. And it was one of these things of, okay, how do we explain this method? Because at the beginning, feng shui was a very large part of it, but then it stood on its own as a methodology, is what we learned. Like, it stood on its own as a method. And we were, asking the records, really, how do we explain this to others? And Natasha had a meditation where she saw the octopus, and I got from the records the octopus, the 8 tentacles very much support the head. And what really spoke to me was the fact that, like, the old way of doing business was putting out fires and everything else over here would crumble while we're putting out fires over here. It would be like all hands on deck over here putting out this fire, and the rest of the business, we're constantly jumping to the next fire because the foundation wasn't there. And what came to us very strongly is the octopus does not function that way. The octopus's tentacles can work individually and together to protect the head, health, and joy. So we noticed very quickly that each tentacle could represent a different area of the baga, and the head was health and joy. And what we noticed was when a shark bites off a tentacle, the tentacle regenerates. The octopus doesn't see itself as broken. It does what it needs to rejuvenate and to restore energy. However, that tentacle regenerates. However, if the health and joy, if the head is attacked, and that's why there's so many tentacles protecting the head, if the head is attacked, then it's all over. So we loved the flexibility, and we loved that we could really get to know this amazing divine animal. Yes, please don't eat octopuses anymore, people. They're conscious beings. They really are. So, and then a book came across our knowing as well, and we read more about the octopus and discovered that, yes, this is a really great way to explain and to move through this method, and it makes it exciting and interesting.
It was almost instantaneously. We were both kind of like, I remember looking at the map and seeing kind of like 8 squares with something in the middle. So it was like the 8 tentacles. And we both at the same time were like, oh, the octopus, kind of a thing. And then when we started researching further about the octopus, we saw how it kind of like lends itself to everything that we're doing, from its flexibility to, changing and adapting to the situations, to regenerating itself. So we're constantly changing and regenerating as well, and we're not broken. If something happens, we just keep working as if we just keep going on. So and it's being really resourceful. It's an amazing creature for sure. But it was almost like instant. We were just like and then we realized, because I come from an IT background, that not only is it called the octopus, that IT is full of acronyms, right? Yeah. So we shortened it. We were both like, oh, it's the OM. We were like, oh my God. It was like so exciting. We're like, If it's the Om, then that means it's kind of like it vibrates, Om kind of like connects you to everything. Om, vibrates kind of like in your stomach, in your chest, in the center of your mind. So it covers all of your energy centers. Plus it connects you to the universe and it brings you back to center. So we were like super excited about that.
It's interesting too how the octopus calls to people, because we've had participants that show up to our course because they see octopuses everywhere. They haven't seen them anywhere before, but all of a sudden they're seeing them absolutely everywhere. We believe there's people's guides are at play to help them know that this is the course for them, because it's really amazing. And we have participants sending us octopuses all the time, like just sending us images. Or this week, what showed up was a beautiful wood carving made out of a redwood of an octopus. Like, it's just amazing how this beautiful animal has infused our lives and the lives of participants and future participants. I was even reading a blog a couple weeks ago, and her blog had our course on her vision board. She was talking about vision boards, and there on her vision board was our course, the Octopus Method. So it's her vision to take it, which is really cool.
Again, goosebumps. Just listening to this, I have goosebumps. It's so beautiful because I remember when I was taking the course, and if you're working on business this week, and the next week we're doing the second chapter, we would already step into it during the week. It wasn't like we needed to go for the next session and then we would step into the next phase of the course moving forward. We would automatically step into it. And it is so beautiful. Like, we were guided throughout. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, we meet once a week, we do the course and that's it, like it's done. No, it's continuous. It's like a constant cleansing machine that we went through, like all the limiting beliefs, all the obstacles, all the things that we thought is like stopping us or holding us from moving forward was just constantly being released, and we kept moving forward. That's why we could step into the next chapter even before we went into the next session. You ladies like literally just guided us through it like constantly, and you're like, you know what, give yourself love and grace. There will be times when it's going to get overwhelming, so like I remember Kelly would always say, give yourself love and grace, give yourself love and grace, let it pass.
I wish we could take credit for that, but I really believe that Divine does that. It knows when each participant is meant to move into the next area, and it does, like Divine does do it gracefully, but with enough information that you're moving into it, or it can be reflected back to you.
Yeah. And I also believe like once you have worked, it's like moving forward, right? It's one step in front of the other. So while you've taken this step, this is ready to move forward. It's like parallelly, you're constantly moving forward. So that's why I do feel like the next chapter or even the chapter before that would come into play. If you're working on business or if you're working on I'm creative, it would just be like it's coming in, it's constantly coming in. I want to move on to the next question. Why do people who partake in the course are put in a container? What does the container represent?
So it's not only this course, but any course that you do, you're placed into a container of energy. So kind of like how we were explaining earlier, that we get pulled in, like attracts like, we're magnets, right? So if it's in alignment, we get pulled into that. And then within that group, it creates an energy force because we become one. We call it a container because it's the easiest way to say, oh, I'm in this container. So, and that's what actually drives that. All of you moving in from one, it's that intention of doing that work, that intention of connecting together. Looking into the Akashic records, there would have been a contract somewhere where we would have all come together to support each other through that. So it's not only in the Octopus Method, but you will find it in every course that you're in. You will be in a container that will shift you. And that just means that our energies are all amalgamated, and we've all come together with the same passion and purpose, is to work through this. Whether it's to create the connections, the friends that you now have, or if it's the people that are there to trigger you to do better as well. All of it's in alignment. So you'll see there's one thread that connects all of us together within that container. And the funny thing is, Kelly and I do the Octopus Method every time we do it live. We'd go through it as well. So we're constantly refining and in that container too, to be able to support the groups that are coming in as well. So it's quite interesting.
It really shows as almost a spiral staircase that we're constantly creating a foundation that pulls us upward and forward and onward. If that helps, it reminds me of the octopus you sent me, Gaurri, which was dancing.
Yeah.
You know, spiral dance that movie, that little clip that you sent me did. It really reminded me of this piece of it, the constantly evolving, constantly ascending.
And if you think of the octopus, if you think, I mean, in the group that you were in, there was 8 of us. So it was quite a small mastermind. But when an octopus moves, if you think each of you are in a tentacle, it moves together. Because not all legs, or not all tentacles pull it in different directions. Otherwise, it wouldn't move anywhere. So it's like, if I use the octopus example, all tentacles are moving in the same direction. And that's for the energy that it pulls together.
Absolutely. That is so beautiful now that I think about it. Like, it's really bringing back a lot of memories, because that was a fun course. That was definitely a fun course. And every time I do feel like if I am creating something new, or if I'm working on a new project, or if I have a new idea, I go back to the course and I probably take one tentacle again, or sometimes 2 or 3 tentacles again, just to become clear as to, is this in my highest and greatest good moving forward? And how do I want to move forward with it? Like, is there something that I'm not looking at? Is there a part of me that is triggered by a new project? Because sometimes it even triggers fear in you. Like, do I really want to do this? I mean, I've already expanded. Do I really want to continue expanding and moving forward? So the fear that it triggers in the octopus, it actually makes it so much more clear that yes, this is in your highest and greatest good, or no, this is not in your highest and greatest good for this time, maybe in the future, not right now. So it really brings a lot more clarity to the surface.
Absolutely.
Yes, it sure does. Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the next question. So I I know I did the course last year, but I went back to my notes. I went back to all the documents. So I pulled out a couple of lines from this document that you had sent us. So I would really want to quote you on this. And it's a beautiful paragraph. So in that you say that when everyone is pushing so hard, it is important for them and resistance shows up. It can be challenging and can feel like a tug of war. That does not serve the individual or the vision of the team or the business. Could it be easier? What if the advisor could be unconditional love and grace? What would that create? And what if each person could mind their business and focus on their passion and their purpose? So, my question is, how does the octopus methodology help us focus on our passion and purpose and advise us through love and grace?
Beautiful. So there is a tentacle where we go all in on passion and purpose. And the coaching in that tentacle is really asking you to let go of everything that is not passion and purpose. So what happens through this is discernment. Now, anytime we're letting go of something we're attached to, grief can come in, even if it's something we don't like. So for example, in my life, I don't like being controlling, and I'm working on letting go of control. Well, as I let go of control, there's some grief because I knew how my life functioned with control in it. So that's when love and grace needs to come in to really replace what has left. And by replacing what has left, we can move forward in passion and purpose. And there's a permission piece there as well. There's permission to do what's on our purpose. So I listened to Trent Shelton recently, and he said, why would anyone else get your idea? Source gave it to you. So why is anyone else doing your purpose the way you do it? Source gave that information to you. And that's part of the passion and purpose. Our mind will talk us out of it by saying, oh no, someone else could do that better, or like, our monkey brain will talk us out of doing our next action. And that's why we really break down the actions to 3 small steps every week, because we know that the octopus moves inch by inch and camouflages and is flexible and adapts. So to answer your question, discernment comes from, recognizing in your body that feeling of passion and purpose, what excites you. And then it's giving ourselves permission to let go of what no longer excites us, what we're attached to. And it's really a science experiment. So that's part of the moving forward with love and grace. And once we get a little action forward, the overwhelm goes away, the resistance goes away, the saboteur goes away, because we can see ahead of us.
Kelly was getting used to not controlling. I was getting used to not saying yes to everything, because I see potential in everything and I get excited about everything. But a lot of the times what I was saying yes to wasn't my passion and purpose. It was somebody else's. So instead of saying, oh, great, I see, this is really your passion and purpose. Here's my suggestions. Here are some tools that you can use. Go and live your passion and purpose. I was starting to kind of like, yeah, I can help you and we can do this, this, and this. And I ended up kind of like straying away from my passion and purpose. And then I ended up getting tired and I just wasn't living my best life possible. So that was a big lesson to me that kind of like put me into that everything that I'm doing or anything that I say yes to, I'm asking or taking it through a filter of, is this in alignment with my passion and my purpose? Right? And where it comes to the love and grace aspect, I'm going to give you an example. When you see a plant is withering, now that springtime's here, I went and I bought plants tonight. When a plant is withering, what do? You give it more water, you give it more sunshine, you give it more soil, you really try and create the best environment for it. If we're judging ourselves and beating ourselves up and, really reliving the trauma of what we did or did not do, what we should and should not do, and all the rest of that, that is like taking water away. That's like taking sunshine away. That's like, really starving that plant. There's no way it would thrive if you continue to do that. So when we are going through that space where we're like, okay, I'm a little bit depleted right now, or perhaps I need to change direction, or what I've been doing all this time isn't working, it's really going, okay, let's draw a line. And it's not reliving the past, but it's like, what can I do to move forward today in this moment? What can I do when I wake up tomorrow? What can I do differently to not repeat what I did? So it's one of those things where we create processes, we create filters with love and grace to be able to push ourselves forward or pull ourselves forward. That's when we start to shift from being reactive to being proactive, to really creating things with discernment and with consciousness. That's the other perspective that I'd like to add to that. So that's where it is utmost important, the love and grace aspect, to come into that. And because that helps you to shift through that a little bit further. Again, for those people that have children, if your children make a mistake, you're not going to beat them up. You're going to be like, okay, how do we move through this so that we don't do it again? Same as a person at work. If we make a mistake, okay, is the process broken? Can we fix it? How can we avoid this? Kind of a thing. How can we move forward from that?
How can we respond rather than react?
That's it. Respond. That's the right word that I was looking for.
Which leads me very beautifully on to the next question, because in the same document, I read the following. The Octopus methodology works through all the 9 areas of the Bagua using the process of the 4 R's. What are the 4 R's, first of all? And then how do they create an impact on us?
It's recognizing, then releasing. Okay, so first of all is recognizing, okay, maybe this isn't working. So for example, recognizing, okay, maybe I put too much on my plate. Okay, that's probably not part of my purpose. Then I release that where I'm like, okay, so I'm letting go of all the things that aren't in alignment with my purpose. And then I'm moving into the aspect of reaction, right? So it's like, it's not enough to just think positive. One needs to action positive, right? But we need to download that information. And we say download is in kind of like bring from the subconscious into the conscious, or bring into awareness what we're, how are we wanting to move forward. So it's recognizing, releasing, and then bringing all of those things into action that we need moving forward.
Receiving and then responding.
So receiving the information and then responding to it in a way that's in alignment with your soul.
And I do feel, because I always say this even to my clients, that you can either choose to react or you can choose to respond. And the choice is yours. Because when you're reacting, it's not from a conscious, aligned, authentic space. Because you're just reacting. For example, I yell at someone, the person yells back. This is action reaction going on. But if I yell at someone and the person chooses to, stay quiet, hear me out, hold space for me for just venting out, and then be like, I hear you. I know that you are in pain. And how can I be of service, or how can I be of help to you? That's responding. That's responding to what I am doing right now, because probably I'm not in my right senses. I just want to vent out. I just want to lash out for whatever is happening in my life. We all are humans. Like, we need to remind ourselves of that. We're humans. And like Kelly always says, give yourself love and grace, because there are times that we can't be perfect. We can't always respond. We will probably react. And then give yourself love and grace. Come back to the inner knowing that, you know what, you were very human in this moment. You felt it and you chose to express it in your way.
Fully human and fully divine at the same time. That's the goal.
But it's even for the person that's looking at that, is kind of like recognizing that you're having a bad day, letting it go, knowing that it's not them, right? Receiving the information that they need in order to react or respond to you, right?
Absolutely.
So they're using the 4 R's all there.
Yeah, there's a way to be more compassionate when we give ourselves more love and grace. We tend to give more to others as well, and trust that everyone's doing the best that they know how to in the moment.
Definitely, definitely. It's like your cup runneth over. When you are loving yourself completely, you can love other people completely, and you can see them for who they are. But if you love yourself half full, constantly criticizing yourself, constantly picking out the nooks, the flaws in you, then you really can't be of service to yourself first. So, yeah, definitely. Moving on to the next question. Before we started each session, I remember that Kelly would read out the Om intention. So, my question is, what is the importance of the Om intention?
We believe it grounds, centers, and clears. We believe it allows you to land in the space. We know it vibrates at the method's vibration. So it's really an entry point into the evening to allow us all to really land and really place ourselves in a place of our passion and purpose. And if you want, I can read it right now and people can experience it for their experience. We just ask that when we read this information that you allow any words that don't resonate with you just to release, and allow any that resonate, you can keep them. It can be an open eye meditation if you're working on open eye meditation, or a person can close their eyes and really sink into the words. I am all that I am. I am grounded, clear, centered, and ready. I am here as who I am, ready to serve my purpose. I am here, whole, perfect, and complete, representing the One. I am whole. I am one. I am complete in all that I think, say, and do. I am so happy to be here, filled with limitless grace, love, joy, and compassion. I am grateful for the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding I received today. All that we are, I am. All that I am, we are. And so it is.
It's so
Thank
beautiful
you.
because it immediately grounds you. It's so grounding and it's so peaceful.
And it sets the intention for the session as well.
So, where did you come up with the Om intention? Like, how did it come to be?
It is inspired by A Course in Miracles,
Mm-hmm.
and it is inspired by Matt Kahn's work as well, and he works with the records as well. So it's inspired by information that was collectively received. So we believe it came from the records.
We took it and kind of like really skinned it into our own, and it has been tweaked a few times to keep up with the changes and the shifts that have been happening, and just to become more present, like you say, becoming more present, more grounded into the now.
That's another thing that I really like about this course is that the course keeps on evolving with every group that comes in to take the course just keeps evolving, and that's what's beautiful about it, because usually if you think about courses or education, it somehow stays the same. There's a stagnant energy, and then after a couple of years maybe then the shift comes into place. But this course, it just keeps evolving, it's growing, taking in all the information that's coming in and releasing it out to the new participants. And I like that you guys have yearly reunions that keep happening where like every batch can come back and have a conversation with the other groups that took the course.
Absolutely, because we wanted to continue to support people where they were at, right? To continue that of being of service and to, continue the momentum of where they're at. And also just to check in and see where they are and to provide kind of an update, of where we're at. So if you've taken the course a year ago, we can bring that information and that knowledge into the now. And we've actually started doing it every quarter now, just to support the group, because there's quite a few, and that just keeps that momentum. So especially sometimes we get stuck and we don't have somebody kind of like, holding us accountable. This is kind of like just to check in to see, how are you doing? What support do you need? And how can we keep you moving in the direction that you want to go in, really, more than anything else.
And that is so true in times like right now, where you need the support and you cannot have it physically present. Like we all are in lockdown in different parts of the world. I know that I haven't stepped up for the longest of time. It does take a toll on you. So when you have these friends and people across the globe who are, holding you accountable, that, what, this was your goal. What happened? Like, are there any blocks? Can I be of service? Do you need any help from my end? Because I know so many of my batchmates reached out to me and they were like, you know what, we're here for you. What do you need from us? How can we help you? It was so nice to just see their response to times when I was stuck. And like you said, like this course is open. I still remember that now, even today, we have conversations on the Facebook page and we keep sharing each and everyone's achievements, and we keep celebrating each and every one of us, even today, after 1 year, after the course is over. Whenever there's a new idea, a new document that we produce, or a new package that we create, we want to share it. It's that inner joy that we just want to share with the people who we know can hold space for us.
Celebration is so important. Community is so important right now. And honestly, we're constantly evolving. So our desires and what's possible for us constantly expands. So yes, the octopus creates this beautiful foundation, and then it can keep growing and keep expanding, and like in alignment with passion, purpose, and who you are. So it really is beautiful to really support each other in that way. And Natasha and I get so excited when we see you bouncing marketing ideas off of each other, or someone comes in with their revised branding. It warms our hearts. It's really beautiful to witness.
Absolutely. And we thought about it, especially as entrepreneurs, We don't have sometimes a lot of people that we can bounce ideas on or ask for opinions or, really, kind of like use it as a test that we get like honest feedback and encouragement as well. So that's the amazing thing about being in this mastermind is that you will always have somebody that you can bounce ideas so you don't feel quite alone because, being an entrepreneur can be lonely sometimes. And it's kind of like, I just want to talk to somebody or run an idea past somebody or run an image. Which one looks better, this one or that one? That you want to run in a group that really is wanting the best for you and is really cheering you on to be the best that you can be. So that is another benefit of being part of the group and the community. And that's the community aspect that we're looking at. It's because we're all entrepreneurs wanting to do the best that we can. So everybody's supportive of each other for sure.
I remember like every time there is a new marketing idea, every time there's a new branding, every time there's a website that is created, every new project is so celebrated. It's not like the other group mates have a tendency of jealousy, like she did it, how can I? It's not that. It's nothing toxic. It is nothing negative. It's just purely, I love you, I support you, I see you, and I'm celebrating this win for you. It's on that energy.
That was our deepest hope and deepest intention, that it would create a community of collaboration and celebration.
And that's how we're moving forward in doing business. It's not about competition. It's about collaboration. Absolutely about collaboration. The only competition is being the best person than you were the day before. That's the only competition that we've, and then that's the intention that we said. It's all about collaboration.
And this reminds me of that beautiful analogy that Kelly always brings in, the Costco analogy. Would you like to share that?
Sure. So I think about any time that competition has like come up with clients, or I ask, can you possibly serve every single person that comes into Costco on a Saturday? Like, do you have capacity to serve that many people at this point in time? And the answer is always no. Now, COVID, there may be less people through Costco, but I think there's still quite a few ordering online from them. So we really are, marketing is really meant to help those who were already meant to find us quicker. There's already contracts and agreements of who's to work with us. It's written in the records. We literally need to be ourselves, and we will magnetize those that are meant to work with us.
Yeah, my mom was worried when I told her I was going to start teaching Akashic Records. She said, what do you mean you're going to be teaching Akashic Records? She was like, you're going to lose all of your clients if they can do this all for themselves. And I said, good, because then they've gotten the tools that they need to be able to do that. And it is just kind of like, and I said to her, it's the same thing. There's over 1 million people in Calgary. Even if I wanted to service 1% of them, I couldn't physically do that. If the three of us had a script to read, the same script, some people would resonate with me, some people would resonate with Kelly, and some people would resonate with you. We wouldn't all resonate with everyone completely. And it's the same script. So it's an energetic, really, that attraction, that magnetism, that right from the beginning when we were talking about being in that container, attracting those people, those are the right people.
Moving on to the next question. In the same document, I read the following. It is my belief that every successful business has been built and continues to be sustainable with a large dose of intuition. How does our intuition play a huge role in the success of our business?
It's all about intuition. It's all about gut instinct. If you want to take the woo-woo word out of it, it's all about intuition. We only see 1% of what is physically here. The rest we're picking up from the energetic field with our extrasensory perceptions, our intuition. It's who we are. It's what we're born into, is really connecting to what's beyond us, right? So it's like, it's not the mind has a thought, okay, what is the thought? What is behind the thought? So that's what we started looking at. What is behind that, really? But the program runs on connecting to the Akashic Records or connecting to your higher self. It's really, by the end of it, You fine tune your intuition to be able to make the decisions that are best for you. The biggest thing that we do in life is we ignore our intuition. Oh, I should have listened to myself. Oh, that whole I told you so, there's no more of that, because you're doing what is coming to you constantly. And we build that confidence to be able to do that, no matter how scary it is. But it's really, we try to refine the abilities that we have and expand them all, because working within the records naturally expands your intuition and helps you to channel your higher self, your records, the you that is there, the bigger aspect of you, the aspect of you that has an aerial view of your life, that isn't sitting down and just looking at what is now. It's looking at what is the bigger picture and then moving towards it in a way that is ideal for you, or at least providing the suggestions for you to make a conscious decision moving forward. And that's why we harness our intuition completely and start getting used to connecting to our gut instinct.
There's 12 weeks of practice.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that important piece of, I would say, wisdom, because there are so many times that, like you said, we don't listen to it. And then there is that I told you so. You should not have done that. And it's not someone externally telling us, it's just our intuition telling us that, you know what, you should not have done that. Or when you're driving, do not take that road. It's not right for you. And it happens so many times. And this is how I started playing with my intuition. Like when I remember, because every day when I would go to work, and I would take the same route. And then one day, I don't know why, I was just guided, don't take that route, take the other route. And I've been going on this route every single day. I know it takes 45 minutes for me to get from my house to my office. Suddenly, one day, I'm just guided not to take the original route and go the other way around. And I'm like, why? And I was like, you know what? Just let me listen to it. I have time. I have time to buffer. If I'm late, I'll still reach on time in a way. So if this road is longer, I'll still reach on time. So it's all right. Let me try. It so happened that the day when I did not take that route, there was a very big accident there. And I was like, wow, that's so interesting. I know the perks of listening to your intuition, and I know what happens when you don't listen to your intuition.
I have a recent example of where I got invited to go out to Ontario to go work with a lady that is Six Nations there. I had only met her on Zoom a few times, and I was like, no, I need to go do this course. And it completely shifted my life around and everything that has come from that. Like, and I said, I don't know why I'm here, but I know I need to be here, right? Completely. I don't know what's to come of this, but I know that there's work that needs to come of this. And that's exactly what's come out of it is incredible. Even for, for the Octopus Method, for my personal growth, all of that came through, but it was just one of those things that everything aligned to it. And I was like, I'm going to go. My poor husband was a bit freaked out, but I was like, yep, this is where I'm going now. I'm not going out to, because Kelly and I were meant to go to Portland, but everything just shifted into alignment. And it was like, I don't know why I need to go, but I really need to make a plan to be there. And yeah, there I was.
In life in general, like whenever you have this amazing opportunity come your way, and there are times when you're like, I don't know why I need to do this. Like I remember there are so many, like taking up all the courses with you guys, the Octopus methodology, getting certified in the Akashic Records, getting certified in Reiki, coming to Canada, doing my list of certifications that I did in literally a span of 3 months. I did not know why I was coming there. For me, it was just like, oh, I'm just doing this one course. And it lined up like a series of courses, and it wasn't overwhelming. Like when I was doing back-to-back courses, it wasn't overwhelming. It was so much fun because I was getting information, downloads, going for that spiritual retreat. I didn't know why I was going there, but I was just like, you know what? I want to be a part of this. I want to see what's coming through. So every single time when I have listened to my intuition, it's been a blessing. And every single time when I haven't listened to my intuition, that's also been a blessing because it's taught me a very important lesson.
And Kelly and I talk about following your joy. That's how you know if you're in alignment with life, is following your joy. And if something completely excites you, like you're excited to do that, then you know it's in alignment as well. Right? So that's another way of looking at it, because some people are like, oh, I'm not intuitive. But that is a way of like knowing what your intuition is saying, is feeling the joy in your body, feeling the excitement of whatever comes up. If there's a hesitation, that is your gut instinct. That is your intuition saying, perhaps that's not in alignment. But that's how you find that you're in the flow and that you're following your purpose, is by following your joy, making sure that whatever you do excites you.
And it's also letting go of the fear of the unknown, because we don't know what's going to happen next. It's just following your gut instincts, taking the action, letting the inner masculine, the divine masculine step in, take the action, and then let the divine feminine nurture you through the experience. So balancing both the energies together. Thank you. Thank
I
you so
love
much
that.
thank you. Thank you so much for that beautiful joy of wisdom that you've just shared. And now, moving on to the last question. I really hope that this conversation continues, but it can. So, moving on to the last question. Every person who is a part of the container has different needs and requirements for their life and the business. So, how does the Octopus methodology cater to all of these requirements?
It is a coaching methodology. So it asks each participant questions, and each participant gets the answers and writes them down. It's very beautiful. I think that's why there's two of us with this, because Natasha and I are very different. Like, we're opposites, but we work really, really well together. And I believe that between the two of us, we're able to serve the participants quite well. Also, we are tuned into the Akashic records of the container, of the Octopus Method. So we get information of when to dig a bit deeper, when to challenge, when to expand possibility, because sometimes it's just the participant isn't able to see what's possible for them. And what we know is when a participant can dream, it means it's within their ability to achieve. They would not dream about something if it wasn't within the possibilities.
Mm.
And of course, there's free will choice. But to answer your question, it's very much intuition. It's very much records led. It's very much listening, being in the listening. There's a check-in at the beginning. There's a check-in at the end. There's time in between. We're both very accessible. So participants can reach out to us. It is a in-person live. There's portions where you do on your own, but there's 2 hours every week where you have both of us, or at least one of us. Life happens sometimes. So you have us for 2 hours. And in that time, there's possibility, and there's also time to ask questions and get feedback.
The last 2 weeks of the Octopus Method, so we go through each tentacle over the 9 weeks. We have an introductory week as well, but the last 2 weeks we really look at what is your plan moving forward. So there's a kind of like, we take all the week's actions, we see what's still valid, what's not valid anymore. There you have the opportunity to leave the method with a marketing plan ready to implement. The amazing thing is that I'm all about, let's do it now. What can we implement right now? So even though you're doing this method over 12 weeks, you're actioning so that you're not left with a ton of work to do at the end either. So as we go, we're already getting the ball rolling. So, your colors of your brands being revealed, your taglines being revealed, your bios being revealed throughout the space. So when it comes to creating a website, if that's in alignment, you've already got a whole criteria ready to hand over to somebody, or at least something to just basically tweak, using the method to, get the information that you need. So although we support you individually every week, you're in the container, but at the end, the last 2 weeks is really dedicated to really refining what it is, your marketing plan, your business plan moving forward based on the method that we have. And we've been creating a kind of like a habit throughout, the 12 weeks of, at least 3 things that we need to do every day or every week, that will get that ball rolling. that will get that action moving in the direction that we need. So that's how we feel we support the container, but we give each individual the time that they need specifically for them.
Like you said, like all my branding ideas came through the Octopus. Every single thing that's on my website has come through the Octopus methodology. And even today, the teams that I'm leading, the kind of teammates that I need to have, what are my criterias? What do I expect from them? What is the work that we're going to do? Every single thing has come through the Octopus. And this is last year. It's not about me going and redoing it now. This is last year's information, which is now being applied. And it's so beautiful that, it gives you a head start for a very long trajectory. And then whenever you feel like you're lost, stagnant, or don't know what to do, I have the privilege to go back to it and then redo a couple of tentacles just to understand, is this of service right now or not?
And you also know how to get that information for yourself at any time now, because you had 12 weeks of practicing communicating with your own soul's records.
It also sharpened like we just talked about it a couple of minutes ago, it sharpened my gut instinct. It's more intuition based. Like, it's about, do I need to do this? Is this in favor of me? Or do I just want to try it? I want to see what's happening. And then if it works for me, great. If it doesn't work for me, no worries, no harm done. It's made me more approachable to different ventures and different opportunities coming my way.
And your website is gorgeous. It really is. It reflects you beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I'm so excited to be here because, yeah, absolutely. It's the continuation of the branding. It's the continuation of you expanding your soul, right? And I'm glad you took all the actions to get here, because there's that two parts, right? And what a beautiful, beautiful, business you've created and website, and, being part of this YouTube channel is just like Kelly and I say, our hearts are so full to be witness to what it is that you're, how you're expanding. And we can't wait to see what you bring in next.
Thank you. Like I said initially when we started the conversation, this is going to be very humbling because I am honestly just holding space for this divine wisdom that you both are sharing. And if any one of you want to reach out to Kelly and Natasha, all of their information is in the comment section below. The link to the Octopus methodology is in the comment section below. I would definitely recommend this course. This entire conversation was a recommendation of this course. So please, please, please go ahead and be a part of this course, which will truly shift your life and your business on a very different level altogether. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. It's been really my honor to have this conversation with you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If this video has added any value to you, please do share it with your loved ones. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for more such conscious content coming your way. Until next time, have a blessed week ahead.